I, 40F, have been married to my husband, 44M, for 20 years, and we've been together for 25 years since high school. He left on a trip with our eldest daughter, 21F, to his home country, while I stayed home due to work and school obligations. They are due to come home in a few days, but my daughter flies in 2 days before her dad. Out of a feeling, I checked my husband's toiletry bag the night before he left to see if he packed any condoms. He didn't. Then I checked the stash, and there were exactly 10, the same as when I last checked a while back. The next day, I left for work while he was still packing. When I came back, he was done, and I took them both to the airport. Yesterday, I thought to check the condom stash again, and lo and behold, there were only 5. My first thought was to confront him over the phone, and I almost did, but my daughter and his aunt were in his vicinity when I called, so I hung up instead. He sensed I had an issue because I said I wanted to ask him something, so I requested him to call me when he was alone. He didn't call back at all, not even to say goodnight. He didn't call me until the next evening while other people were around. We only use condoms when I have an issue with my birth control and have not been consistent, which was a few years back, so I thought that stash was old and not replenished. I'm now wondering, is he replenishing the stash with new ones? He must be intending to cheat on me if he is prepared. In all of our years together, he has never been found to be unfaithful, although I had my doubts many years ago. I have always been faithful to him. What should I do to confront him without him hanging up on me or gaslighting me? I want to see his facial expression on FaceTime. Or do I confront him when he gets home? Will confronting him now likely prevent him from cheating on me, especially during those 2 days when my daughter flies back home and he stays? The damage is already done though. How should I confront my husband about this? Commenter. If I were going to cheat, I'd have the sense to buy condoms at my destination or even in the airport shops. You guys have been married for 20 years, why are you even still using condoms? He should just get snipped and be done with it. He refuses to get snipped but is sure to keep me on my toes with birth control so that we don't have any more surprise babies. I have asked him to get snipped because the research I did showed that it was much safer than women undergoing procedures. Sometimes, I think he has a just in case I remarry and may want kids in the future mentality. The question about why I checked had me thinking, I know, right? Why do I feel the need to check? Thinking about it, I'm not sure I feel comfortable with him having a stash of condoms. If we ever needed them, which is rare, why can't we just go buy them? I'm just realizing that those dang condoms lying around made me insecure but also gave me a sense of security by making sure they were all there. Now that is all shattered, and he's a damn fool because he had no idea I was checking them. He probably was nervous about buying them in his country because my daughter was around, but he definitely wanted to make sure he was protected. But if those really were the old condoms, was he intending to use crusty old condoms? I can't find the expiration date on the 5 left here because they are out of the box. Why don't they have the date right on the wrapper? Also, when we were younger and newly married, I started driving his car, which he bought while we were together. While I was vacuuming, I saw a small piece of cardboard sticking out from under the console. When I lifted the console a bit to pull it out, I realized that it was a small box of 3 condoms, all the condoms were in the box. When I approached him about it, at first, he denied they were his, but then said that they were being given out on his college campus, and he just mindlessly stashed them there, or something to that effect. I never trusted that story, but since all the condoms were there, I moved on. Yeah, so I guess that's where my condom insecurity started. Update 1. After some advice, I decided to confront him in person when he got home. However, in one FaceTime conversation, he asked me why I don't seem like I miss him. I hinted that I was upset because something was missing from the home. He shrugged it off and said, "There you go again," as if I'm starting something. Then we hung up, and we didn't talk about it again. He came home, and at first, I acted normal. Then I confronted him when the time was right. I asked him why there were condoms missing from his stash. He acted like he had no idea what I was talking about, then gaslit me for an hour and a half. I went through all his bags, which he hadn't unpacked, and found nothing. Mind you, he doesn't let me go through his stuff, so I found it odd that he let me check everything. He had this weird smirk on his face that he was trying to hide and kept persisting and trying to hug me. Then he turned it on me, saying that I always try to start things about everything, that I didn't miss him but he missed me, etc. I didn't want anything to do with his touch and pressured hugs. He told me to drop it, he doesn't want to talk about it. I told him he just wanted me to sweep it under the rug. I told him that I realized that is how he has gotten away with things I confronted him with in the past but never had full proof. Well, I'm not a little kid anymore. Then he said he knew what was going on. I said I needed to hear the truth from him. Finally, I convinced him that the only way we could resolve it is with honesty. With that jokey tone and smirk, he asked if I would drop it and just hug him if he told me the truth. I reiterated that the only way we could ever get past this is with honesty. He finally admitted that he took them with him. He tried to give a BS excuse that his bags are always packed with them. I shut that down with the fact that they came directly from his stash that was in another bag left at home. Then he tried to say it was instinctive. I called him out on that BS and asked where the heck they are now. He said he threw them out in the hotel because he panicked after I implied on a phone call with him that the reason I'm not acting like I miss him is because I'm mad that I noticed something missing from our home. He said he didn't want to get caught with them, so he trashed them. I said he used them. He said, when did he have time? I asked, when did he think he would have time? I pointed out that he was thinking he's slick, but he got caught and could have just bought them over there. Then he pointed out that they were old and we don't even need to have them because we don't use them. So I said, they are probably not as old as you say. You probably replenish them because why would you want to use old condoms with a random stranger? What's the point? I also opened one right in front of him, and it felt fresh and lubricated. I wonder how long he has been doing this for. Now that I think about it, there were 10 before he left, but a while back when I checked before when he was traveling out of state without me, I think there were 12. But I wrote that number on the back of a mirror, which I no longer have. The number 10 I wrote in a notebook so that I remember and couldn't be gaslit. I want to leave but don't want to go to family. I'm considering a hotel, but I would have to wait until he leaves the house first. I want to be strong and let him know this is not a joke to me. I don't support infidelity. I also don't want the kids to know what's going on right now. Trust was obviously gone from me for a while. Can I ever gain that back? Commenter. By the time you write condom numbers on the back of a mirror, the relationship is way past saving.